Just out of my local park. Well, not my local park, but a park that I've been to quite a few times. And I just want to go over a couple things today with what's happening in my country, Canada, once again. But first, I want to watch a video with you. I want to watch a video of Andrew Tate explaining the current situation of the world from his perspective. And, you know, whether you like Andrew Tate or you agree with Andrew Tate, you think he's a disgusting human being, you know, that's open to your interpretation. The message that he conveys in this video, I think it's about 6-7 minutes long, is I think it's pretty all-encompassing to where we stand in today's Western societies. So if you want to watch it, stay tuned, and if you don't, well, that's up to you. That's not a problem. But then after the video, I'll critique it and go over a few things.
Thanks to you. I'm going to oversimplify some things, but I'm going to explain what's going on because you're confused as to why our politicians seem so evil, corrupt, and inept. So let me explain it to you. The people with the money control the politics. Most of you understand that. Politics is simply money. Lobbying, media, all this crap is owned by very, very rich people, and they basically decide who gets to be in power. The people with the money for the longest time understood they could make more money if they improved the lives and improved the quality of Western society. By improving Europe, improving America, improving the standard of living for the constituents of these countries, they could make more money. But like all things, the pendulum swings. And it got to the point where people got a little bit lazy. They wanted health care. They wanted to only work certain hours. They wanted good living conditions. And one day, the rich people woke up and realized, wait, we can make more money now by destroying Western civilization. We don't make more money by making it better because the people in the West now are very decadent, and they've started to pay a lot of attention, and they've started to do these investigations, and they've started to notice how corrupt everything is, and they're starting to notice how much money we're stealing. You know, if we could just replace all of them with third worlders don't complain about governmental corruption ever. So if we're corrupt, we don't want Westerners with law degrees looking up what we're doing. We want a whole bunch of third world slaves in the country because they're not going to pay attention to all the money that goes missing. On top of that, all markets can be long and short. You can make a bet on basically anything on the planet that is going to go up or that is going to go down. You have heads and tails on the coin. It is much easier to make something go down than make something go up. So if you flip a coin, heads or tails, well, that's 50-50, right? But if I said to you, I have to make a bet, I have to bet billions of dollars on the UK getting better or the UK getting worse. Well, if I bet on it getting better, I now have a whole bunch of work to do. I have to make it a better place. Do you have any idea how difficult that is? But if I bet on it becoming...
So to Andrew's point there, okay, you look at a country, and you look at a country that is in the position of Canada, the UK, France. I'll use those three countries. They have been invaded by immigration, which we all know. The standard of living is plummeting in all three of those countries, which we all know. The gross domestic product in my country is at an all-time low. Our deficit is at an all-time high. And you look at Mark Carney. You look at the situation that Justin Trudeau put this country in for the last 10 years, and you look at a guy like him saying he's going to reinvent the wheel under the same ideologies, under the same processes, under the same people. And, like to Andrew's point, it's much easier to keep the destruction going. It's very easy to destroy something. It's like in home renovations. It's a lot easier to rip a washroom out than it is to put it back in, to use a simple analogy. And that's what they're doing. The people that are in power don't want things to get better. But I'll continue with the video.
It's easy. Very easy to make it worse. You just leave it as it is and bore a bunch of people who don't really like the place. Stoke civil tensions with the media. Make the prices of everything go up a little bit so people are angry and poor. Done. My bet pays off. I get rich. So the people who are in charge of the global capital, and these people have power everywhere, and these people live a good life everywhere. They're not worried about Europe falling apart because they have a beautiful mansion in Ghana. They have armed security in Bangladesh. They don't care. They're fine everywhere they go. They've sat there and thought, okay, We can make a lot more money by destroying the West than improving it. In fact, it's got to the point where improving the West doesn't make us any money at all, because those lazy Westerners and their standards of living, and they're paying too much attention and they notice too much. This is really annoying. Let's just destroy everything and benefit off the chaos. The reason you can know they're doing this is because they were doing this in the second and third world while improving the first world. When Europe was improving and America was improving, they were looting Africa and looting all these second and third world nations. Some countries always been getting screwed so another country can do well. There's two sides to the coin. And it's basically inverted. Instead of destroying Africa, instead of destroying India and destroying the Middle East and saying, let's destroy these places so Europe can do well, they've decided, let's destroy Europe so Middle East can do well. If you had to place a bet, a $10 million bet on a country like it was a racehorse, and you had to bet on the United Arab Emirates or the UK, and in 10 years from now, you're going to measure all the metrics and see which countries improved the most, which one you're going to bet on. And you're not even a professional. You're not even a banker. You're not even somebody who could actually affect it and make it happen. Not only can they make the bet, they can then affect that bet. They can bet on the Middle East, they can bet against Europe, and they can make sure their bet pays off. And these are the people with the money, and these are the people who choose your politicians. So when your politicians seem to be destroying the country on purpose, and you sit there and go, why is the politician destroying the country? He works for us. Doesn't he want the country to be good? Doesn't he want the country to do better? Well, the answer to that is no, he doesn't work for you. He works for the rich people who put him there, and the rich people want the country to be worse. So that's why it's getting worse. None of this is accidental. There is no such thing as accidentally not having a border and allowing unchecked migrants to turn up and paying for them all to come. There's no such thing as accidentally screwing over your veterans while giving houses to people who have never even lived in the country. There's no such thing as accidentally letting knife crime run rampant or accidentally letting violent criminals out of jail over and over again. This is not an accident. And to put it down to some degree of stupidity, and that it's ignorance, and that the woke left mob, and they have left woke judges who accidentally let the murderers out, that is optimistic. Because the truth is far worse. The truth is this. The people who are actually in charge of the world have decided to enact a controlled demolition of Western society. It is purposeful. They have decided on purpose to destroy the Western world. They've decided to destroy our way of life. They've decided to destroy everything we grew up with and believe in and know. They've decided to destroy it. It's done on purpose, and they've done it so they can get more money and more power. Because once they turn the first world into the third world, they then become rulers over the third world, and the third world rulers have real power. Think about this. I could talk about this forever. Does Keir Starmer have real power? I mean, can he walk around and randomly point at someone in the street and say off with his head? No, he can't. But in Saudi Arabia, they can. In lots of countries they can. In Indonesia and Bhutan, whatever. A leader can say, get him, and that's it. So the first world leaders who have been put in place by these oligarchs, this shadow government of money, understand that if they collapse everything, if they replace everyone with third worlders and rebuild it back up, not only do they get a lot richer, they get a lot more powerful. And anybody who understands the world understands that the number one thing people with money and power want is more money and more power.
Well, we both just watched Andrew Tate's message. Now, to a high percentage, a high degree, I agree with what Andrew said. You may not always agree with Andrew's conveyance of the message or Andrew's perceived backstory, what the mainstream media have reported with regards to Andrew and some of his perceived wrongdoings. That's not what I'm bringing to my video. What I'm bringing to this video is what he said and the way he conveys it. I can't convey a message like him. He's much more intelligent than I am. He is a much more polished speaker than I am. And what he said in that 8-minute video, 7-8 minute video, is pretty much bang on to what is happening to Western civilizations, Western ideologies, the Christian family nucleus. It's exactly as he described it. And this is not something that I haven't conveyed in part or whole in a collection of my videos. And people that know me, that talk to me, obviously without videos, I've conveyed all that. And I'm not saying that I'm reinventing the wheel or I'm some sort of genius. A lot of people are aware of this, and a lot of people are aware of this in great detail, far more knowledgeable than I am about it. So hence, I like pointing out people that like Andrew that have a better understanding of it. So I don't know. Well, I don't know if he's got a better understanding. He's just better at conveying it for sure. So how are we gonna reverse this? I don't know if we are going to reverse it, and if we do reverse it, it's going to be a multi-generational thing. Whereas we gotta start and we got to go quick. Like you look at Trump, he's done a lot of things quick down in his country, and the first thing he did was curb the illegal immigration from the southern border. And by all accounts, that's been a huge success. The mainstream media won't report that, but other sources of media do, and I follow that. So that's the first thing. You gotta stop the bleeding. So once you stop the bleeding, then you can go in and you can look at what caused the bleeding. And obviously, if you let 15 to 20 million people into your country from all over the world, it's obviously a very monumental task to track them down and get them out of the country. It's huge. So, but by all accounts, that is going forward with great resistance to his ICE agents. But I digress. So I'm more concerned about Canada. So we have upwards of 1 million people coming into this country per year. We are, last I checked, we were a country of just over 41 million people, second or third largest landmass, depending on what source you're looking at. But I'm to understand we're the second largest landmass in the world next to the U.S. to Russia. And so we have a very condensed population around the southern border with the U.S., our southern border, their northern border. And I live in a province, Ontario. I live in a city, Toronto, that the Golden Horseshoe area is the largest concentration of people in Canada. So when immigration is brought into this country, invited in through the Liberal government, they have a propensity to come here, where I am. They have a propensity to go to Montreal. They have a propensity to go to Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Quebec City, Halifax, the larger cities. Now, if you go to any of those cities, which I've been to all those cities I just named, I've been to all of them recently in the last couple of years. Yeah, you can see there's a huge influx of people from other countries. Do some of them fit in? Do some of them assimilate into Canadian traditional values, Canadian ideologies? Yes, some do. Most don't, and most will never, and they don't want to. That's the problem. Now, that's the problem if you have a native population, and when I say native, I mean myself, a multi-generational Canadian. Now, hey, listen, if you're not a white-skinned guy like me, you're a dark-skinned guy, you're a multi-generational Canadian. Yeah, you're Canadian. I don't care what color you are. You're Canadian. If you come to this country and you exhibit Canadiana, and you're legally a Canadian citizen, you're Canadian. I don't care what color, I don't care what religion, I don't care about anything about that. Just go off on a bit of a tangent here. I've been noticing recently in the news that the Sikh community, they're allowed to carry, my understanding, they're allowed to carry a ceremonial dagger under a certain length. I don't know what the length is. I don't know that. And I've known this for quite some time, that they are legally allowed to carry these ceremonial daggers. I don't got a problem with that. I got a problem with it if you take the dagger out and you're using it. I got a problem with that. But I heard that's happened. I don't have any knowledge of that. But what I have heard is these people that are carrying the ceremonial daggers aren't being allowed into, one was, I think, a school in Durham region. And I can't recall what the other one was. The other event was. The police or security are stopping them, saying you can't come in. Now, I'm going to defend this. My argument is, why, if it's legal, it's in legal writing, it's in the law books, or not law books, but it's in our legal framework. Why are these people being stopped if they're allowed to carry them? So I don't agree with that. Like I said, if they're pulling them out on people, yeah, I get it. But so I don't know what's going on there. My point I'm trying to make is that is not a Canadian cultural thing. That is an Indian thing. But I support that. If it's made its way into Canadian law, then and they're not breaking the law, I don't understand. So now, do a lot of people agree with that law? No. Do I necessarily agree with it? I'm on the fence with that. I think everyone should be allowed to carry a ceremonial dagger, to be quite honest with you. And I think everyone should be allowed to carry one of these if they're legally permitted to do so. So you see where I'm going with that. So I went off on a bit of a tangent there. So how are we going to fix my country? How are we going to fix our country of Canada? Under the Liberal government, we're not going to. Based on what Andrew outlined in his video, it's all by design. It's not by accident. You don't let repeat offenders out that have 100 past violent crimes on their jacket, their arrest papers. It's not by accident. So it's managed decline, but it's to cause and to further chaos within society. It's to overwhelm the system. And so when you have to go to court and it takes too long to go to trial, you're released, no trial, because you have a certain time frame to legally stand trial. And if your window expires, well, they let you go. So it's all done by design. Until we get the Liberal government out of this country, until we get, when I say out of the country, I mean out of the House of Commons, out of Parliament. I don't mean send them to another country like they'd like to do to us. We can't fix this. This is going to continue to be exacerbated through the Liberals. They are every day increasing, like I've touched on before, Bill C2, C8, C9. It's censorship laws. It's internet laws. It is perceived hate speech laws. We already have a ton of those on the books. We already have all these laws on the book. They're just tightening and tightening and tightening, so people like me can't get these videos out. And I'm telling you, a lot of people aren't watching my videos. Ever since, even more so since I started doing this content. Hey, I know my videos aren't the best editing. I know my videos, aren't the most polished videos, and the way I communicate my thoughts isn't the best. I get that. But I'm noticing in the last few videos that my likes are going up quickly on my videos, in comparison to my views. And I noticed yesterday that my likes actually surpassed my views on a video, and I'm not getting many views. So I believe they are suppressing my videos. And people that do YouTube videos, especially political YouTube videos that aren't on the left, yes, they do communicate what I'm communicating now with, they notice there are some anomalies with regards to suppression. So anyhow, it doesn't matter. I obviously don't do these videos for money. These videos cost me money. But it's just, I do them out in nature. And a lot of things that you don't see on video, like I had these little chickadees taking seeds from my table and I'm doing this, and things like that. I love that sort of thing. I love all nature. I love animals. So it gets me out, and you get to see, people that don't live in Canada get to see a little of Canada. The leaves are changing. It's always a nice time of year to see that. A lot of parts of the country you don't see that. A lot of parts of the world you don't see that. So it's a hobby for me. And is it bringing unwanted attention to Dewey? Yeah, possibly. But you know what? I'm at the point in my life whereas I'm ready to make a stand. I'm ready to stand up for this country. I'm a proud Canadian. I'm proud of our military. I'm proud of our, what we've done during World War I, World War II. So, and I don't like seeing people that have fought for our country and have died and got injured for our country having to, even if they're not with us today, they're deceased. It's not right to what these people in Ottawa have done to this country. And what they're doing to this country. They're weak people. They're cowardly people. They are beta feminized men, and they are masculine women in a lot of cases. And their ideological views on the world, and especially on my country of Canada, are very detrimental. And that's why I'm doing these videos, and that's why I'm being more vocal with regards to them. Anyhow, I'm going to watch the Andrew Tate video a few more times. It kind of polishes up the way I convey my messages. Or not. Anyhow, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, or anything to add to this video, leave it in the comment section and I will get back to you. Enjoy yourself wherever you are in the world today. Bye.